The aha moments come, like, for example, when I was studying Fiat Chrysler, at the time when I started to study it, I had deep hatred for the auto business, extreme hatred. It's unionized, it's high capex, it's subject to consumer taste. You may spend 3 billion trying to develop a car and nobody likes it, and so on. And it's so much of it is commoditized and so on. It's a lot of ugliness in the auto business. And the reason I went down the rabbit hole is I saw that Ted Wexler had made an investment in General Motors. And I think I saw that David Einhorn had made an investment in General Motors. And I said, why would these two smart people invest in such a horrible industry that we all know obviously is horrible? So I said, I only went down the rabbit hole to try to answer that question because I said, it makes no sense to me. So actually, one of the things in investing is when things do not make sense to you, you have to stop yourself and take some notes and say, I think I need to go down this rabbit hole. So, for example, Seinfeld wrote a book. The audience doesn't understand Seinfeld, which is very unfortunate. But Seinfeld wrote a book, which I thought was a great book. Is this something? Okay, or something like that is the title. Is this something? Every day, he sits down for an hour with a yellow pad thinking about anything that he's encountered in his life and day-to-day encounters, which could be weaved into a story for stand-up comedy, right? So humans have all kinds of things going on, which, if you really stop to think about it, they don't make any sense. Like, for example, there was an episode on Seinfeld where he goes to a car rental place at the airport and he says, I have a reservation, etc. And they tell him, I'm sorry, sir, we don't have any cars. He says, I have a reservation. He says, yes, we have your reservation, but we don't have any cars. So he says, well, if you have my reservation, you have to have a car, right? And so that whole thing became an episode, right? Because he just noted down that sometimes people have a reservation and they don't have a car available. And how do you kind of correlate that? Or one time there was a episode about George's very thick wallet. He had a super thick wallet, right? And so again, there was a whole episode on that. So I think the thing is that he's writing down anything that looks like an anomaly or weird things about humans to him, right? And most of those may not pan out into something that turns into some great, 10-minute or 15-minute, stand-up routine, but some of them will. And so the discipline of sitting down every day. So anytime you encounter something that makes no sense to you. So when I encountered David and Ted Wexler on GM, it led to the work on Fiat Chrysler, and which was a huge home run. And of course, now one of the problems that came about in that huge home run was I missed it. The biggest piece of that home run was that Fiat Chrysler owned 80% of Ferrari. And I didn't even care that much about the value of Ferrari because I was focused so much on these other pieces, which were going to make the market cap in earnings in a single year. And Ferrari was making $250 million a year. And I said, okay, so it's worth like 3 billion, 4 billion, if you want to be really excited about it. But so what, 5 billion. Here we're going to have the rest of the business be worth 40, 50 billion. So I didn't care about Ferrari, but actually Ferrari was I had a good return on Ferrari. I think I made 5, 6 times my money. But the big mistake I made was it should never have been sold. From then till now, it's almost a 25 bagger. And it's 25 bagger on a $20 million investment is about 400 or 500 million. That's more than chump change. So even I missed it, even in that scenario where I was looking at this thing so carefully for so many years. So I think that is the business we are in. We are in the business of drilling down on anomalies. Just like I told the student, her job is to look at every public company that she is giving even $1 a year to and drill down on